What if I told you I could get your business listed in the top 3 online search directories in the world within days, give your brand a global reach, and help you to attract more customers and clients? Hi, I'm Ludwina Dautovic, the founder of the Red Tent Woman, which is a multi-award winning business. I'm also the host and producer of Red Tent Radio. I've been working with small businesses and entrepreneurs now for over 7 years, helping them to develop their business brand and business models. Now, in that time, I've noticed that the number one problem that small businesses are facing is getting the right kind of online exposure so that they can attract their ideal customers and clients. Now, after 1 year of producing Red Tent Radio, our show now airs live in the mid-US with 2,500 to 3,000 listeners per week. We also have anywhere from 500 to 4,000 downloads per episode via iTunes. Now, through the massive following we've created via the show, I've come to realise how easy it can be to get that kind of online traction. You've just got to know how. However, successful marketing starts with great web exposure. And if you don't have the online traction, then Google won't know about you. And let's face it, if Google doesn't know who you are, then you don't exist. For new business owners, it can take some time to garner Google's attention, and that's with some really good SEO behind you. So what if I could guarantee you not only get listed on the top 3 search directories in the world, but have all the elements that you need to start to give you the online traction you're looking for? Let's take a look now at some of the online media coverage and exposure I've received just in the past year. I've been invited to be a guest contributor for a number of online magazines, including Dare Online, which has a massive global reach in over 50 countries. I was featured in the She Experts Launch magazine, and most recently I've become the online digital new media expert for the Internet Marketing magazine, and that has a readership of over 26,000 per month. Now, my online strategies have had my press releases featured on Yahoo News and other online news and press sites. My podcast shows are featured on iTunes and a number of other online podcast directories around the world. And of course, I've been featured in the offline media. I've been listed in the Who's Who of Australian Women 3 years in a row. I've been on the cover of a magazine with a featured article and numerous newspapers across Australia. Not to mention a number of online tele-seminars and webinars, along with speaking engagements that have now come as a result of my online exposure. Now, as with many new businesses, it's hard to get the online traction, let alone media opportunities, unless you're kind of unique and offer something really special. But even then, it's still a challenge to get the exposure your product or service deserves. Now, we found this with Red Tent Radio. We found that many startups were asking to be a guest on our show, but they had not yet achieved the level of success that we were looking for in our guests, and therefore weren't in our target market. I also recalled how hard it was for me when I first started the Red Tent Woman. It wasn't until I won a business award that the media started to knock on my door. So this got me thinking, what if I could create a media package that gave startups the opportunity to be in the media and be listed in the top 3 search engines in the world? What if we could bundle up a selection of online strategies centered on a podcast show that would give them the online exposure they deserved? Well, welcome to the Media Package, which is a bundle of services and strategies featured around our new show, the Business Podcast Show. Now, this package, which was recently launched, will give your business, whether it's new or not, small or large, the chance to get your brand a strong online presence that starts with an expert interview. Plus, I'll get your business listed in the 3 biggest online directories in the world within days of your media package being released. So here's what you'll get. Firstly, a 15-minute coaching call to prepare you for your interview. This is especially handy for those of you who may not have been interviewed before or who might be a little bit nervous about it. You'll get a 30-minute expert interview about your product or service with one of our expert interviewers, and they've also been personally trained by me. You'll get a copy of that interview to put on your website and media page. The interview will be aired on the Business Podcast Show via iTunes and other online podcast directories. This is where you start getting the online traction. You'll also get a full feature page on our website, which will be rich with your keywords about your product and service. Again, this is where you start getting traction with Google. You'll be featured in our newsletter that goes out to thousands of businesses across Australia and overseas. You'll get promoted via our social media sites, and we all know that Google indexes social media sites as well. You'll also get a professional press release written by our in-house journalists that you can use for offline media as well as online. That press release will be sent to over 20 online press release news sites around the world. And finally, we'll produce a 3-minute promotional video of your interview, which will then feature on our YouTube channel. So again, you've got the 3 biggest sites. So you've got YouTube, iTunes, and Google covered. Now imagine people anywhere in the world listening to your interview on the Business Podcast Show on their smartphone or iPod via iTunes. Now people anywhere in the world can hear your voice talking about your product or service. And as I said before, iTunes is a search directory just like Google or YouTube. Through this package, you'll be featured in all 3. Your promotional video will be on YouTube, which is owned by Google. Your audio will be on iTunes, where people search for information about your type of product or service. And because of the features in this package, Google will index your show within days of it being released. And I can prove it. Here you'll see one of our media package clients, Roman Kozlovsky, from Record Your Life Story. Now today as we're recording, it's the 7th of May 2012. On the 28th of April was when we uploaded this video to YouTube of Roman's interview. The very next day, Google had indexed the video. Now you can see the date there, it says the 29th of April. Now the next one that we have here is from Julie Nelson from Aromatic Essentials. You can see her interview on our website has been indexed by Google already. And my final example is Davina from Powerful Parenting. Her interview on YouTube was uploaded on the 28th, and on the 29th of April it was coming up in a Google search. So this means that when people are searching in YouTube for parenting, they will find Davina's video on her interview. They'll then go to iTunes to listen to the interview, which will then lead them to her website, and all links together. Now here's a testimonial from Davina. Ludwina, thank you. I just know you've helped propel my business forward. Having such an important message to give out to not only the media, but to parents and educators, this media package was exactly what my company needed. I have not yet started to have a media presence, so the fact that through you, I now have my professional radio interview for my own website homepage, as well as a spot on the Business Podcast Show, and the exposure that comes from being on iTunes through your show means that I now have different avenues to get my message out to help build my brand. Now, the official press release you prepared for me and then send out to various directories, as well as the exposure I'll be getting on your website, all goes towards helping me establish myself as a trusted authority in my field. It's all systems go from here. Now, if I break down every piece of this package and put a value on it, it would come to around $3,000. The promotional opportunities, the SEO that we create for you, the advertising on our websites, the press release and distribution, the interview and support is well worth over $3,000. But we've managed to create this package so that it's not only of high value to you, but at a very fair price. So for a limited time only, this incredible online media package is yours for only $997 plus GST. Now, I understand it can be challenging at times to find the financial resources, so we want to make this as easy as possible for you, so make sure you ask us about our payment plan. Now, there's also a limited number of packages available each week, so it will be those who take action right now who'll start to get that online traction right now. Now let's recap what you'll get. The 15-minute coaching call to prepare you for your interview, the 30-minute expert interview about your product or service with one of our expert interviewers, a copy of that interview to put on your website and media page. The interview will be aired on the Business Podcast Show via iTunes and other online podcast directories. You'll get a full-featured keyword-rich page on our website at thebusinesspodcastshow.com. You'll be featured in our newsletter that goes out to thousands. You'll be promoted via our social media sites, which attracts thousands more. You'll get a professional press release written by our in-house journalist. That press release will be sent to over 20 online press release news sites. And finally, we'll produce a 3-minute promotional video of your interview that will then feature on our YouTube channel. Now here's another testimonial from Julie Nelson. Ludwina, I want to say thank you for the opportunity to get my message out to people. I have long been on a mission to educate as many people as I can, and now this media package is going to have a huge impact on reaching thousands, even tens of thousands. I love the fact that I can use this on my website as well, which enables me to share my message with our community. This is an exciting promotional package for anyone in business that wants to step up and get known. So how do you order it? Just simply go to thebusinesspodcastshow.com and click on the tab that says click here to be on the show, and then fill out the form on that page. Now make sure you mention how you found out about us, and we'll make sure that you get that special price. Then one of our friendly team will be in contact with you to arrange a booking of your package, the payment, and a phone meeting to get the process started. Now if you have any further questions or would like to chat about the package, call us if you're in Australia on 1300 799 491, or for our overseas friends +613 9939 4258, and any emails, just send them to ask@theredtentwoman.com.au. Thanks so much for spending that time with me right now. If you're an action taker, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be hearing from you very soon, and I look forward to listening to your expert interview and seeing you profiled in those top 3 search directories: YouTube, iTunes and Google.